So we're here for round 3, and our hand is pretty bad. There's basically no way that I would keep this hand. And this hand is certainly reasonable. Ooh, a Celestial Colonnade. We haven't played against this in a while. Dismember's not bad. Certainly a fine draw. And... oh, he's Tron. That is fantastic. Big fan. Big fan. So I think it's possible for him to remand our turn 2 Goyf, and in which case our Liliana is more likely to stick. If we really want to try and constrict his resources, we could just take his remand, and then maybe Liliana will make it so his rev is not that good, and that's entirely possible. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely between the 2 cards that we can take. I'm kind of actually leaning towards remand, just because he's probably going to have to Wrath our Goyf at some point too, which puts him another card lower. So I could definitely see taking the rev and just letting him remand our Goyf, but I think I just want to play it this way. We also have a Tech Edge to keep his rev down, which is another pretty important thing. Another Liliana's not bad. If he has something like Condescend or Mana Leak in his deck. Not many people do. So I'm going to discard the Dismember, just because it is generally pretty bad against these decks. And then I'm going to keep the other Liliana for a potential to tick up Liliana and then play another Liliana. And then just really start taxing his hand. So now he might... okay, so he can't Wrath me. So yeah, I'm going to tick up and discard Misty. He discards Wrath, which is interesting. If I was going to play the other Liliana, I'd want to do it before I attack. And I think that's good. Even though we're getting pretty close to ultimate, I think I just want to lock his hand down. Oop, gotta play this Treetop first. And then hopefully we don't get hit with a repeal or something. I think now it might be better to just attack first. But I'm not going to, because I'm kind of dumb. Oh, he's getting closer to Tron, but we have Tech Edge. So now we've seen everything except for the Revelation, and we drew an Inquisition, which is pretty awesome, because we can get that Rev. He's probably going to cast it for 2 in response, which is fine. That's almost certainly earlier than he would like to burn it. And then hopefully we can get something with this Inquisition. Just an Emrakul. Okay. So... interesting. Oh, that was probably pretty bad. Oh, so, okay. Our Goyf went down by 1, so that kind of sucks. So now... yeah, that was stupid. I'm so stupid. So now I can either attack him with Treetop and Goyf, but it's not a 2-turn clock. I feel like his retaliation on his turn is going to be attack Colonnade into Liliana, and then I can just edge it. Or I guess I didn't lose a point because he discarded Emrakul, so that's why it was bigger. So I'm not losing anything. So it was never a 2-turn clock. Okay. So I think since it's not a 2-turn clock, I just want to keep open Tech Edge. But then if he draws something to do on his turn, it can get kind of awkward. But I think that's still the better plan, because even if he draws something to do, he's going to have to attack next turn, in which case I'll be able to just ultimate. So I think our spot's okay. This is always kind of scary, though. They have a lot of powerful cards in their deck. Yeah, I think he's just going to try and attack right away, which makes sense. And that's fine for me. Then I don't have to keep my mana open anymore, and I can just attack. So now he's in a bad spot where he is clocked for next turn, but he also has this Liliana that he has to deal with. So I don't think there's much he can do here. Is there any point to thought seizing him? There is if he has another revelation. Otherwise, I think his plan is to put Colonnade on Treetop. Okay, so he has a Condescend. So now I ultimate, and he's gonna have to float a bunch of mana. Yeah, this just isn't going to work out for him, actually. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's nothing he could do there where he could keep a Colonnade and activate it. And even if he did, like, he has to chump block Tarmogoyf, and then he's not in a good spot, so. Alright. Definitely want these Fulminators. And Cage is generally pretty good because they have Gifts Ungiven into Unburial Rites, and that's one of the main ways that they can stop this deck pretty well. So Dismembers are bad, Life Banes are bad, Slaughter Packs are bad, and it can be kind of risky to side out a bunch of answers to Celestial Colonnade. So maybe I just take out this Pulse. Putrefy can hit like Signets or Expedition Map. Pulse, if he had Wrath of God, he probably is like one of the slower versions, like more of the sweepers and like detention spheres and stuff. So like maybe Pulse is actually pretty reasonable. I guess we could also have Golgari Charm to regenerate from Wrath of God. That doesn't work. But the other Wrath of Gods, the Day of Judgment, Supreme Verdict. And then this could also kill like a detention sphere. I don't know. I feel like I should keep in some ways to kill Colonnades. And I think I want to keep in these Decays to kill his other stuff. Like the maps and signets and stuff that I was talking about. So I think I'm going to keep in 1 Pact, 1 Putrefy to cover me against Colonnade. And then I still have like Edge and Fulminator. Maybe just like all 4 Decays is wrong. That's entirely possible. Maybe Creeping Corrosion's okay because I can snipe like 2 Signets. But I think I like this. I should probably take out one of these Decays. That seems not great. So maybe just another Pact? Pact or Golgari Charm? One of these two. It's gonna be the Pacts. I like being able to like tap out for something like Liliana and then still have Pact. So this hand is borderline, but we have a Dark Confidant, which they don't have a ton of answers to. Like there's some paths and some sweepers. They have nothing like Blood Moon or whatever, so I can just fetch out an Overgrown Tomb here, I think. He could potentially have a Shadow of Doubt. I don't think he would bring it in here, but I'm not going to do anything with my mana, so I'm not like giving away too much information. So also I drew Liliana, which is, you know, probably one of the best cards against them. So this is one of the best starts. Thankfully I drew a Cage. So I'm going to play Confidant, and then if he just plays another land and passes, I think I'm just going to decay his signet, force him to gifts, and he might get the Unburial Right stuff, and then I'll be able to play Cage. No, Celestial Purge. It's a pretty good, like, 1 or 2 of for the sideboard. So now we have another Cage. Basically doesn't do too much. And I think I'm just going to play Liliana and start ticking it up. I don't think I'm in any real rush to get this Ooze in play. I think I am going to fetch, though. Fetch instead of play Twilight Mire. So, tick up, and then I think I'm just going to discard one of these cages, which is kind of awkward, because it, you know, we have 5 cards and we're discarding a cage, and he discards an Unburial Right, so that's kind of weird. But I think it's fine, even if, you know, he has the potential knowledge that, like, you know, maybe a cage is coming, because I also still have this Ooze. So Tech Edge is pretty good. That means we can just discard this Twilight Mire. And then also get to protect ourselves from a Gifts, or from a Colonnade attacking Liliana, I mean. But yeah, he's casting Gifts now, looks like. Since I discarded Cage, it might just be better for him to get, like, things, just like card drawers, maybe missing Tron piece, whatever. But if he gets 2 creatures and bins them, like, I'm super happy, because then I can just play Cage. Plains. Basic Plains. You could probably have that one. Interesting. Wow, that's really weird. I guess I'm binning the Purge and the Batterskull. Seems pretty easy to me. So he has Iona Plains, and he discards Iona, which makes sense. So yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of worried about him, like, repealing the cage. So I might just edge him now. Because otherwise he could go, like, repeal cage and then Unburial Rights Iona. But I guess that still doesn't even do anything because I have Liliana in play. So I think I can just play cage and sit on it. I feel like he should have gotten something else instead of that Plains. Like, maybe he really wanted the land to attack with Colonnade, but yeah. Alright, so he is not doing anything, so I'm just going to decay this. And I'm going to play this Ooze. So yeah, this is kind of the awkward spot where he could, like, repeal me in response, like repeal my Liliana. But I don't just want to throw away a land. So he's gifting again, that's fine. Perhaps this time he will get some more impactful cards. And this spot is tough because we have a bunch of permanents that are keeping him down. And he can't really do a whole lot. So his choice is either like try and, you know, get threats and whatnot, or try to get answers. And I think since we have so much going on, that it's probably better for him to get threats. So yeah, the first thing he gets is a Batter Skull, which is not super great. He does have Academy Ruins, but I have the Ooze. I also have the Edge. But I think this turn... I don't know. I could edge... I could edge his Ruins or his Colonnade. No matter what, he's not going to be able to attack Liliana next turn, and then I can ultimate Liliana if I wanted to. Yeah, this is weird. So if I've been like the Path and the Batter Skull, then he has this Crucible that doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. So I don't think that's bad. Yeah, I think I just do this, and like my Ooze just kind of covers him. Covers like all those angles. And the Gifts is almost certainly too slow, so I don't mind giving him that. Come here. Come here, you. Causing trouble. Say hi to the peoples. Yeah. Okay. So he discarded the Gifts, realizing that it is actually too slow. So I don't think I need to edge him right now, although I probably should just to constrict his mana. And if I'm going to edge something, I think it's just the Colonnade. Potentially keeps... I guess it doesn't keep him off double white because he has that Plains in his hand, so he has Plains Crucible X. So I get to edge this, and then if I have a mana open, so if he wants to like Academy Ruin something, I can respond by oozing, or if he wants to cast Crucible, I can respond by oozing the Colonnade. He Wraths, and that's pretty interesting, because I just get one shot to exile something. And he has this Academy Ruins. So he has Crucible X. And I don't think I'm going to ultimate Liliana next turn. I think I'd rather just tick it up. So he's going to have a Crucible. And I think that means I just want to get rid of this Colonnade. And then next turn I can ultimate and make it so he doesn't have enough lands to actually Academy Ruin stuff profitably. And I think that's good. So I have this Slaughter Pack that doesn't really do anything, so I don't mind discarding that. Yeah, I think I want to do this. So he discards a tower, so he's going to have something to do with Crucible. But that's okay. So he set this up pretty well, I think. So now I ultimate Liliana and leave him. He's gonna like put Batter Skull on top probably. So then it's probably like Tower, Crucible, Ruins versus 4 other lands, and then he has to build back up. kind of in a tough spot. Thought I was doing alright. What do you put on top? Signet? Yeah, Signet's pretty smart. So now at this point, since he's drawing a Signet, I want to put... I want him to not keep their Crucible, basically. Oh, but I can't really do that because he has its Ruins Crucible. So that's kind of tough. So, alternatively, I can give him Ruins and Crucible. And then let him keep his 5 land. I think that's best. Because then if he wants to keep... Yeah, if he wants to keep these together, he has to get set back pretty far. It's kind of weird. Guess I'll just upgrade my Liliana's loyalty by a point. Two points, actually. So he gets to rebuild his mana base. He gets to play a land next turn, put Batterskull on top. Next turn, cast Batterskull. So that's pretty powerful. And I'm not drawing anything. It's tough. Almost certainly screwed this game up. I gotta play more Modern. Not playing the best. Maybe I should have milked that Ooze for more instead of edging him. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have given him the Crucible. I guess he had Academy Ruins already. So he discarded gifts. It's okay. So I'd expect him to put Batterskull on top and then replay his other Urza land and cast Batterskull. Then I think I just have to Edict him. Drawing a Goyf there would have been pretty sweet, because then I'd have a way to protect Liliana and then could potentially ultimate him again, but not much I can really do. And just saving this Thoughtseize on the off chance I can catch him with Batterskull in hand to kind of slow him down a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I'm just losing here. I mean, there are certainly cards I can draw. Like, if I draw an Ooze, I can only make it a 4/4, I think, because I have one and he has one. Might be all I need to protect Liliana, though. Yeah, Slaughter Pact doesn't kill Batterskull Germ, which is kind of important to note. And he's beating me with all these weird permanents. So, Pulse is probably good, Putrefy is probably good. Decay is exactly okay. I think I'd rather just have a Pulse than a Putrefy. Yeah, again, like, this is one of those spots where, like, Corrosion would be okay, but it's, like, still pretty tough to beat this Academy Ruins. I would need an edge. So, like, maybe I should be conserving those a little bit better. And just be wary that I can actually, like, lose to Crucible Academy Ruins even after Lilianaing him. He had 2 permanents. I lost. Alright, that's a Tarmogoyf. That is a thing. Timely reinforcements. That's not going to do a whole lot. And unfortunately, this is a couple turns too late. Otherwise, maybe I would have been able to build this up to 6 and ultimate it again, but at this point, it's kind of rough. You can just put back another Batterskull. It's just like the slowest death, the Batterskull grind. Okay. So edict one of these. Play another Liliana. I don't think it does me much good to edict him again and attack and like try and get that train going, because I don't think that's gonna happen. So now might be able to draw into like another Tarmogoyf or something, you know. I mean, I have to keep playing, I guess. It's like pretty boring, but I feel like I could still win. Depends what happens. Oh, yeah. I forgot I could just do that. Maybe I should have just edicted him. Need to play more modern. Note to self. Batterskull can equip onto things. So what do I have? Maybe now I'm just conceding. I don't know which one, keeping which one is better. I think it's this one because I could draw a steady string of things. Or that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it has to be this. If I kill his Crucible, he just gets it back. Oh, he's a Colonnade too? Yeah, I'm so dead. Didn't even notice he drew the Colonnade. Too many permanents. And he completed Tron. It took him long enough. I think I can beat this guy game 3. Yeah, he's equipping too. Okay. And I just have nothing to really do. Could potentially time him out, but no one wants to do that. Alright, so Pulse, you can get back in. Kind of want that Corrosion. I don't know. Slaughter packs are really bad, but I do think there are scenarios in which killing Colonnades is pretty good. I do have 7 land destruction, though. I don't know, maybe I'll just keep 1, because drawing 1 is not the worst. Still not sure how many of these decays I want. I think 3 is pretty reasonable. It's possible I want a Corrosion instead of a decay. I didn't see any detention spheres from him. I think most lists would have 1 or 2. He did have a bunch of purges. Oh no, because if I'm trying to cage him, then Corrosion kills my own cages. So yeah, I can't do that. I think I just keep decays, and then hopefully not lose to a Colonnade. So this sounds pretty reasonable. I think I just fetch an Overgrown Tomb, because I might draw like a Swamp, and then I have Swamp, Treetop, and can't activate my village. So I'm going to Inquisition him this turn, and then Thoughtseize him next turn. So I don't mind if he paths me. And he doesn't even have white yet. So I think my plan is to Inquisition his map, Thoughtseize his gifts, and then his hand is pretty bad. And then I can just start going to town with Liliana after he gives me another Swamp. So, yeah, we're just going to do that. And alternatively now, if I draw another land, I can actually just Inquisition his path. So he drew the Crucible. Fine with that one. Drawing the Emrakul is always the worst. You just have to draw Thirst for Knowledge. Alright, so we got his white source. And I think we just walk this into a path. I think I would rather get pathed than have a Tarmogoyf. He's not even going to do it right away. That's probably pretty smart. So I'm going to Thoughtseize him. And I'm aiming to take path, but if he has something like gifts, and that's why he cast Crucible, I don't want to, like, not be able to take it. Oh, wow. So he just drew all his fatties. So he has Iona, Emrakul, Disenchant. And a card. And a Batterskull. Okay. So he has to draw a couple lands for his hand to do anything, and then, well, that's a good start. And then I just have to draw a land to either Putrefy or Pulse his thing, and we drew a Tech Edge, so that's good. So now I think we just attack him. Because I could Edge, but I actually want him to cast Batterskull. And then this way, I have... Yeah, I can't just Edge him, because then we potentially don't have 3 to cast our thing. So yeah, we have to attack. So cast Batterskull, and then... instant sorcery artifact land. So I don't think I can kill him or anything this turn. We can put him to 1. That's a pretty good spot to be in. And then if he draws his missing Urza piece, he is still short of casting Emrakul by 3, so yeah, he's basically just conceding. Yep. Alright. So, like I said, I mean, I thought we could beat him game 3, and we did, so that was good. I played Blue-White Tron a lot, and this was one of the more difficult matchups, and it was one of those things where, like, you couldn't board in a bunch of stuff like Disenchants or whatever. Like, it might actually just be better for him, like, especially since I have Scavenging Ooze, to just board out the Unburial Rites, and then either try and beat me with Batterskull or Emrakul. Just messing around with, like, Disenchant and Unburial Rites in the face of a bunch of Graveyard Hate is not where you want to be, so if he had, like, you know, some remands or whatever, like, either those are cards I have to take with discard, or it's something where he could have, like, remanded my Goyf, and potentially, like, kept his velocity going, but the way he had it, he was just kind of stuck with, like, all these bad cards in his hand. He couldn't really do anything about it, so yeah, especially since this deck has Tech Edge too, it's a pretty good matchup. But that's it. 2-1. Next round, play for some money, and I want to play against some Affinity.